Hey everyone, what's up? Yeah, coming on here with a review of, as you can see, it, Sabrina Online. This is Stripes and Links, page 59. And this is a continuation. We're now getting back into more of the Zig Zag side of things. And she's just met back up with her mom. And yeah, let's just say her mom doesn't really approve too much of what Zig Zag does, if you will, because she offers her a seat and everything, and if she can get her something to drink, and Zigzag's like, no, I'm fine, thanks. And she, the mom, as you can tell, asks how she's been in, and she asks, "Are you doing?" And then she pauses for a second. Well, and basically Zigzag goes on to say, "I suppose you remember what I do for a living, right?" And her mom's like, "I do. I can't really say I approve, but it's not my place to judge." But then here's where things get a little interesting in texture. The mom then decides, oh, that reminds me, I have some papers here that I need to give you. And Zigzag's like, well, what are you talking about? What papers? I don't get it. And the mom's like, oh, it's nothing that important. It's just some old documents I've been holding on to that you should have for your own files. And, you're wondering, okay, what is she talking about by old documents? Like, that Zigzag should have. I mean, I get it, when kids go through situations like Zigzag has and all that, parents are going to hold on to things so that when so that when the kid is older, they'll be prepared to hand that off to the kid to keep for their own. Like, if a parent keeps a birth certificate, kid gets older, moves out, or gets married, the parent says, okay, here, take your birth certificate, you keep that on you now. Or let's say you're living with your parents even after you graduate high school, but then you graduate high school and in college and you move out and all that. Parents are like, here, take your diploma with you. That's yours to keep. So so basically it's not anything new to me when I see this scene here where the mom's like, oh, it's nothing. It's, just some old documents I've been holding on to that you should have for your own files. Now the mom, it's like, damn, where are they? I can't read any of this without. And then she said, damn it again. And her mom, and we don't see what her mom is doing right now, but we can tell she's putting on, because when she says this, she's like, I can't read any of this without. And we understand what she's talking about. She can't read any of the documents without glasses. So we can see she does put them on, but as we see here in the next page, Zigzag's reaction, I think a lot of our reaction is like, wait a minute, are we seeing what we think we're seeing, And, Zigzag's trying to tell her mom, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it right now. And her mom is like, no, 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 no. I have them. I have them. They're right here. And then she and we see what the document is. We don't see it entirely, but people have described in the comment section that it is kind of like legal documents, maybe. And then she's handing them to them, and she's like, here you go. And you can see Zigzag's reaction, like, what the hey? Because basically what Zigzag is doing is she's looking into a mirror, basically, because what she's seeing in front of her is like a hybrid of Sabrina and Endora, but mostly Sabrina, but an older version. And that brings up a lot of questions for a lot of fans. Because now you're wondering, is this leading to what we think it's leading to or towards? And even Eric is like, here's what Eric put in the description for this page. He says, usually they say someone looks like a different person once they take off the glasses, as opposed to the other way around. Get what he's saying there based on this? He's saying, again, usually they say someone looks like a different person once they take off the glasses, as opposed to the other way around. So in other words, what he's implying here is that, we see what the mom looks like without the glasses, right? But then when she puts them on, who does she look like? She looks like Sabrina, and you could see Zigzag's reaction. So, yeah, basically, this is bringing up a lot of interesting questions and everything. And again, a lot of people have speculated. I've speculated it too. There might be a family connection. Like maybe there is something there between Endora and Zigzag's mom, like the sisters, maybe, or there's something we don't know. But again, the canon resemblance to Sabrina here is like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? it's like that, it's like Zig Zag can't believe what she's seen. So it does. So yeah, it's not much. It's not really much going on, but the end result it's really gotten a lot of people wondering. Okay, is this implying that maybe there's a relatively a relative like a relative connection, relative you know connection between her and Sabrina? Because you never know. And some people have even. I think Eric did a picture one time where we had a young Sabrina. Just I don't know if she was sitting on the sidewalk playing with a pond or something like that, and walking by her was a young Zigzag. We don't know, but yeah, it's really interesting, and apparently it looks like we are going to get into some crux and meat of the story as far as Zigzag is concerned, going into next week or going into this week actually with page 60. And I still stick by the fact that we're going to get a Fur After Dark spinoff with either Endora and Warren or Zigzag and Tina, or maybe Zigzag and Endora. Who knows? I just got this feeling. But I also got a feeling that at the end of the story, not only will Endora accept Zigzag's apology and maybe even reveal there's a connection relatively between the mom and her, maybe, like I said, the sisters, cousins, or whatever. But I'm not going to be surprised if Endora gives Zigzag a taste of her own medicine by kissing her on the lips when Zigzag least expects it. So it's gonna be really interesting, to say the least, down the line. But yeah, this one right here has really got people talking like, wait a minute, what's going on here, kind of deal. And I like how he basically makes it into an anime like, um, what's it called? An anime like manga and trying to basically makes it into one of those anime manga like, I guess you could say, expressions or scenes. Like that. With that sound. I like that Eric put that in there because it definitely is like, it definitely is the big, big surprise out of nowhere. Like, whoa, what's going on here? So it's really interesting to see what's going on, and I can't wait to see how we continue this week and everything. But as you can see, there's 37 comments here, and this is what everything. And this is the comments by some people. You have one person saying now everything clicks together. Oh, hey Sabrina. You have one saying, "Ooh, this is going to get awkward really quick." Then you got another one saying, "I'm not trying to imagine Sabrina's reaction should she meet or just see Zig's mom in her glasses. I swear." And then one person is like this, and one person says here, "Jeans are funny, and maybe that's why Zig looks more white tiger than skunk. As for the sex thing, that's going back 3 or 4 generations to produce the blend known as zigzag, and 2 generations if her mom had sex with a white tiger before or after getting married during a heat cycle, if they have a heat cycle. As for those papers, I hope we all find out on the next page or pages. To the core group, okay, so obviously this is, it's raining out where this person's at, so yeah, there's that reaction. And then again, another person says, "Oh boy, with the glasses, this is going to be awkward." Um, and then somebody says something right there. I can't pronounce that. And then this person saying, "Starting to think Zig has a thing for girls and glasses." And then this person says, "Why, oh why do I have a feeling this is going to be expensive?" And then another person says, "Well, that explains a lot." Then you got another here saying, "Okay, either her mom's related to Endora or she's Sabrina's mother." And then the response was, "Actually, I'm thinking that Zig's father isn't her father. I'm thinking that her mother had a quote unquote relationship with a tiger, and that would explain why Zig looks more like a tiger than her mother does." One person says, "Based on the format, it looks like legal papers of some type." And then the response by the same person here from the previous one, "I was thinking the same thing. It would also explain her mother's reaction when she found them." And then we got an emoji thing there. We got one person here saying, "What could be on those papers? Mamma mia." uh, and then one person's like, "Oh, oh, no, oh, no." And let's see here. I just had to restart not restart my computer, but unstandby it, if you will. And then another one's like, and then a responsive person says, because again, this person says, "Oh, oh no, oh no," and then one person's response is, "The resemblance is definitely uncanny." Then this one person says, "Someone didn't realize she was hot for mama." And then another one's like, "Duh duh duh." And then here's another one saying, "So many questions." And then this one's like, "Poor Zig. Sometimes on a voyage of self-discovery, you discover things you didn't want to discover. She's going to need her therapist after this. Pity she screwed up. Pity she screwed that up, literally." And then we got more here. It says, "Darn, I was hoping she was being. Oh, okay. Darn, I was hoping she was being slick by slipping Zag some court documents." And then this person, "OMG, could she be Endora's sister? Would this make Sabrina and Zig cousins?" And then this person from previously says, "I'm thinking you should think down another path. Just remember the kind of guy Zig's father was. That's all I'm going to say." And we got some replies here. What we got? Okay, they replied saying, "Only thing I know about her father, words. I shall I shall it say on here on what kind of person they are, uh, but it but it is it the well, you get the idea, you read that." And then this one says, "Uh-oh, please don't tell me this is going to go where I think it's going." You got ooh, and then this person says, "This explains a lot." And then someone quoting, I guess Robin, "Holy animation, her glasses, they make look like Sabrina, sort of like Sabrina, and by extension, like Sabrina's mother." It's like if only it was animated. This is explaining so many answers. And then we have here, oh, some real issues being revealed here. And then here, a few last two, we have thank explains a lot. Now I have so many questions that I'm pretty sure I don't want the answers to. And then this one, 4 days ago, says she kind of looks like what? So yeah, you can kind of see everybody's reaction, and even mine. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be interesting to see exactly where we go down with this situation because I wouldn't be surprised if there is a relation connection, like maybe they're cousins, or maybe they're our sisters or something like that. Endora and Zig Zag's mom, but we'll see. It'll be really interesting to find out. But I'm looking forward to it. Again, I think Endora is going to kiss Zig Zag on the lips as a not only a way to forgive her, but going to give Zig Zag a taste of her own medicine in a teasingly way, and maybe even agree, hey, you can kiss me on the lips once in a while, but don't do it when or don't do it when you're so buzzed or something like that and everything or whatever. I got a feeling that's what's going to be the agreement. Like they'll still go out as BFFs, and if she's in the mood, she might ask, "Is it okay if I kiss you on the lips?" And Dora might be, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So that might be what you get in the long run. But again, like I said, I still believe from a spin-off perspective, we're going to get a Fur After Dark comic between either Warren and Endora, Zig Zag and Tina, or Zig Zag and Endora. I just got that feeling. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to come on here and give you this review. First one I'm doing with my MetaQuest 3 for Sabrina online story, the Zig Zag centric story, in my opinion, of Stripes and Links. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like the video, ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, and click on the links in the description, guys, to find my content elsewhere outside of YouTube. But until next time, guys, I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. But let me know what your thoughts are and what do you think is going to happen next in the coming week, in the coming days of this week, and in the coming weeks following. Let me know. And until then, I am out.